Here are two big reasons why isolated quad strengthening is bad for an ACL tear in the knee. Let me give you a quick disclaimer. Focused quad strengthening might need to be done in just two cases right after an ACL tear. One is if the quads are just not activating, like you try to tighten up your quad muscles and they don't work, then it would be a good idea to do focused quad strengthening. But for most people, their quads do work after an ACL tear, so you don't need to do quad strengthening in that moment. The second reason is if you have trouble with straightening out your knee all the way, sometimes even bending the knee, you have a loss of motion, then you should probably be working on some quad strengthening, because especially if it goes on for a few days or more, weeks, you not getting into that full knee extension, being able to straighten out your knee, it affects your quad strength. But if those things clear, if you can activate your quads and you have good motion in your knee, then you don't need to worry about quad strengthening. And in fact, it's going to be a bad thing for you. And here are two big reasons why. Number one is when you get stronger quads, the stronger you get in your quads, those quads attach to the kneecap right here. And then that kneecap, the bottom of it, attaches to the shin bone. A lot of people say, well, strengthen your knees, and so they go strengthen the quads as a result of that. But when you do that, there's one quad muscle in particular. It's called the rectus femoris muscle, and it goes from the end of the kneecap right here, the top of the kneecap, right to this bone right here, and this area is where it attaches. Because of that, it crosses the hip joint, and it's technically a hip flexor muscle. If you don't have the best hip stabilizing strategies, in other words, if the way that you move causes you to use your hip flexors too much, which is very common, then you're going to want to activate all your quads whenever you go do normal activities like stand up to get out of a chair, and definitely higher level activities like go running, jumping activities, and sports that involve cutting and changing directions. The muscle that needs to be strengthened to combat this is usually the glutes on the back of the hip. Because if you can get stability from the glutes on the back of the hip, then it can allow the quads in the front of the thigh to act normal, and they won't be putting too much pressure through the knee joint. If you tend to fire with those hip flexors, then your hip is going to want to turn inwards slightly, and when your hip turns inwards, it puts an increased amount of tension through that ACL, which can set up an ACL tear or not allow a torn ACL or a healing ACL after surgery to fully heal the way that it should. Another side effect of this rectus femoris muscle being too active is that it'll compress the knee joint and also damage the cartilage, damage the meniscus. It'll affect other parts of the knee that can set up bad movements and re-injure your ACL. Now, the second big problem is that strengthening your quads feeds into the muscle imbalance. So not only are you dominant in that muscle and you're going to tend to move wrong, but it feeds into an imbalance where the glutes get weak, and then as a result of that, the foot muscles get weak. And if foot muscles get weak, then it can cause the arch to collapse down. And if you can see here in my skeleton model, when the arch collapses downwards right here, I'm pushing my thumb on the foot downwards to simulate a fallen arch. What does it do to the knee joint? It moves it inwards. And that inwards motion is what tensions your ACL. So it is not a good idea to be moving in a way where your knees are coming inwards, and any exercises, any muscles that allow you to tend to want to come in, like the quads, it's not good for your ACL. So in a few circumstances, and if you don't have active quads, or if you don't have full range of motion in your knees, then I would say strengthen your quads. But besides that, you should be strengthening other muscles, the ones that help you to fix the muscle imbalance, and not the quads. And if you're actually focusing on the quads, like doing isolated knee extensions, doing straight leg raises, which is considered a hip exercise, but because that rectus femoris gets involved, it's kind of a quad exercise. It really is a quad exercise. Plus you're keeping your knee straight, so you're activating your quads anyway. Any isolated quad exercises, in my opinion, should not be done if your quad's already active and if you have full range of knee motion after having an ACL tear. If you want more details on how to help your ACL injury naturally heal without having to get surgery or without having to have a second surgery if you've already had an ACL surgery, then check out our videos here on YouTube for ACL tears. I've put them all in a playlist for you. You can find a link to that playlist in the description below. It's called the ACL Tear Help Playlist. And I've also got a program called the ACL Tear Recovery Program. It is a comprehensive program that walks you through my entire treatment process to fix the root muscle imbalance on the later end, but on the front end of the program, it's everything you need to do to get that ACL to heal properly so that you can tolerate the exercises that you need to do to fix the imbalance and not have chronic knee problems related to you tensioning your ACL as you return to your normal activities. People that go through our program very often get back to competitive activities if they choose to do so because they get very confident in their knee again because they're moving their knee properly. They're putting the right tensions through their ACL and the right forces through their knee. If this video was helpful for you, please give us a thumbs up. Please comment below with any questions you have. If we've ever helped you out with any of our content, with any of our videos here, please drop that in the comment. We'd love to see that. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and turn on our notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the videos that we post each and every week. Thanks so much for watching, friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.